Yo, welcome to another episode
of Beyond the Dumbbells.
Beyond the Dumbbells. I am Brian.
I'm Jetty.
Hey, how you doing?
I'm good. How are you?
Great. So I can't stand the intro that we've been using since we started, so I'm not using it anymore. So we're going to start introducing our own show.
Exactly.
We'll fix that later. But,
we need somebody to write us some music for it or something.
Some in-studio talent.
Exactly.
We can get a separate announcer and just have that person here just for the beginning and the end.
Hey, I happen to know somebody with a very good friend in Florida who is not only good with the voice, but also is a bit of a musician. So perhaps.
He said he was going to help us. He hasn't done it yet. No, not.
Fine, don't make it your priority.
Fingers. Not pointing any fingers. We had a real good talk with that friend yesterday, and it's very difficult to. Life is challenging enough, but then you've got the distractions in life that are only designed to ruin your life.
Yes.
And that can come in the form of self-imposed stress. You can't control work stress, family stress, life stress. And then you've got the crap that other people bring to the table. And it's easy to forget how to live with a purpose. And the reason we're here and what we're designed for is not to make some other person happy.
Right.
You're not even here to make yourself happy.
Yep.
You know, our purpose in the short time that we're on this planet is to live for God's will and to do His work, not do our own. And it's weird because we get the two confused, and I think there's conflict when we believe we're the priority. And then when you take somebody else and that person decides to put their garbage on somebody else, you're now interfering with God's work.
Absolutely.
Because God got something else planned, and then you got all these little turd pickers running around and messing things up.
Exactly. I think the most challenging part of it is I don't think we were designed this way, but most people, and I will proudly say you and I are not two of those people, when they hear bad news or they hear something that could be drama, they can't wait to share it. Whereas you and I don't want any part of it. And what happens is that negativity and that ugliness just keeps getting spun and spun and spun. And I think you could let it absorb you and almost freeze you in that time versus looking and saying, there's so much amazing things going around in life. Why am I listening to garbage?
It's easier for people to do that when they're not drowning in it day to day, drama.
Yes.
If it's a nice storyline, I mean, television's based on drama. And if you need a distraction, you watch TV.
Yes.
And you get your drama fix.
Oh, yeah.
But when somebody needs a distraction in their own life, they focus on other people's drama, and then it's entertainment.
Yes.
And so we already did a show based on, people that just like to bring in the negative. But now I don't know that we had addressed how do you rise above that kind of situation,
right.
Because we try to shut it down as fast as we can. I mean, I'll start quarter turn, 1/3 turn, just getting away from the person talking, just to kind of body shield myself from the negativity.
Right.
Because I believe that energy, if you square up with somebody and you're body facing body, I believe that negative energy can hit you like a wave.
Absolutely.
I actually, it's goofy, but negative energy is an energy. And I think that if you position yourself to take the full load from somebody, you will wear some of that drama by the time the conversation's over. So I start deflecting right away. I'll start backing out, turning away, and I want to get away from it. But and I struggle with this hardcore because there's a lot of things that I shouldn't care about that I do. And that's a signature trait of someone that cares about people. When you are the person that doesn't care about the consequence of what you do and what you say, you don't care about people.
Right.
But when you, I don't always carry the stress for what happens or what I perceive to happen to me. I carry the stress for what I see happening to people that I care about,
way more.
And that contributes to it.
Yep.
But how do you take the step and there's a thing in your life, there's a thing that's just consuming your time, your energy, your passion, your joy, and you've got all these things being robbed from you. And you have to be able to look up above the eye line or the water line.
Right.
And you have to say, all these things are here because I'm succeeding in life. I'm only doing well in life, and proof in it is that I've got all these distractions, and there's all this crap in the weeds that's trying to pull me down because the way the world works is that the devil wants you distracted so that you're not doing the work you're supposed to. And you giving your attention to those things is robbing you of your joy. Your joy is the number one thing. So work in God's work, and you will have joy.
Yep.
But when you're caught up in all the man-made garbage, you have no joy.
Right.
Does that make sense?
No, it makes total sense. And it's just one of those things where I think human nature is, I think people are very surprised by my personality. I get over something very quickly. I stir myself up and freak out for, up to 24 hours where I'm going off like nobody's ever heard it except you and our friend in Florida.
Sure.
But then I can move on from it because it physically and emotionally wears me down to stay in negativity. I feel like it almost eats my soul. So when we can move on from something, a drama or an event or negativity, or good Lord, have we moved on some funny things in our business? I think depending on the personality, you've got two types. You've got the person that says, good for them. They're not going to let anything hold them back. They opened up the gym as God's gym, and they're still pressing forward, knowing until we've served our purpose at the gym is still in existence.
Yep.
And then you've got the other people that say, you know why they're not still talking about the drama and the negativity? It's because they have something to hide. They're the one, they're lying, and they just want to move on. And
Lord.
It's like, I wish people would realize at our age and how busy we are and loving the life that we have, we don't got no time for that.
So and this is where you have to stay above the waterline.
Yes,
and
you have to.
This is the miracle of it. So let's say you have got something or somebody, and it can start from as early on as your earliest days in memory. Family, friends, something bad happens to you that you just have a slanted look on life. Period.
Right.
You are still in control of what your future is.
Yes.
Your past is done. Whatever conditioned or put you in a mind space or a headspace or a mindset that you believed your victim. You are a victim. You believe that, of course, this is going to happen to me. Of course, this is the way life treats me. You have a choice, and every time you're given that choice, your left option is to continue being the way you are and allow it to define you, or go to the right. Your option 2 is you need to put it behind you and succeed in everything that you do moving forward. And the greatest success, what do I say? Reprisal, the greatest revenge is to succeed.
Yes.
So anytime somebody tries to reduce your joy in life, they don't want you to succeed. Even the people that bring the garbage to your doorstep, in some small way, they want you to stay in their world where they're miserable and they're unhappy, and they want you to join them in the conversation of,
yes,
can you believe it?
It's like the conversation of hate and ugliness.
It doesn't. So we've talked about cortisol, right? So you got a stress hormone that the more that thing is present in your body, really bad effing things happen. I mean, the body breaks down, and we've already joked, it shrinks your brain. I'll throw my father under the bus right now because I know he's never going to listen to this.
This will be the one.
Very small brain. That one's going to come back to haunt me.
Right now, your brother and sister they're getting ready to tune in.
But it's a proof of concept that someone that spends 20 years being angry at the world, it will change your personality.
Yes.
And then you will lose your position as far as God's favor because you don't know how to live for that purpose anymore, for His purpose. So to rise above something and whatever it is, and again, it takes me about 48 hours. And it's 48 hours as long as it never comes up again. If it comes up again, it'll re-scratch that wound open for me. So if something keeps repeating itself, and again, deflect, walk away, try to change the subject. Don't get into that entrapment because somebody wants to pull you back into that.
Right.
You have to isolate yourself. And this is where it gets very discouraging for someone that's in the people business. The only surest way to protect ourselves, because the higher in volume that you expose yourself to other people, the higher and the amount of negativity you expose yourself to.
Of course.
Because unfortunately, a large number of people bring a lot of joy, but even if it's just a scale of magnitude, if you're dealing with 20% of 100 people versus 20% of 300 people, it's still 20%, but the weight of it's going to get worse. It's not like I can handle 20% negativity in my day.
Right.
It's that as the magnitude gets bigger, the power and impact of that negativity robs the rest of it. So we've had to start taking positions where it's like, I'm unavailable.
Right.
And for me to stay at a high level where I can serve the people that want to be served, and that I can treat my relationship with you and with God, and to be able to put my time and attention where it needs to be in its joyous, purest form, you've got to, it's so goofy because in this business, you've got to get big to have impact, but you've got to get small to protect yourself and the value of that impact.
Right. It's almost like you have to have a cocoon, but you've got to have a way out so that you can, stick your head out and try to impact a life in a positive way. But you've got to go back in so that you can recenter yourself and just kind of be able to emotionally let go of some of the stuff that comes.
Yep. And that can be perceived by some, and this is actionable. This is stuff you guys should be doing.
Yep.
So if you're in an environment where you've got those negative people that are, that personality, because the personality that I'm talking about that usually doesn't come out too often is the one where you can be completely yourself. Your guard can be down around everyone in the room. Everyone, that if something happens to you, they've got your back. If something negative occurs, they would never talk about it with somebody else.
Never.
You know those people.
No,
and in those moments, you are the purest you.
Yep.
And when you can't be that person and you have to hide it, it affects us.
Yeah. It's the same thing as if you know that there's not going to be a phone that's coming out that is recording what you're saying or doing. And what the sad thing is, it's not like you being ugly or negative about somebody or something. It's just you being you. It's, can you kick back and could you be eating a plate of pasta?
Yeah.
And nobody's going to film it and be like, hey, look, the mighty have fallen. Or, you know what I mean?
We've had people take pictures of us eating.
Exactly.
Which is why I don't go out and eat with clients anymore.
No.
So, and then you were saying it's not like we want to be isolated so that we can be negative or bad.
Right.
But there's an inner child in all of us, and the way we laugh and the way we love and the way we interact, it's vulnerable. And to do that and to have that relationship, that's when you are able to confide in each other and you're able to share each other's troubles and, successes in life and setbacks in life. Those people don't judge. They have nothing but positive encouragement. They lift you up. They pray for you. These are the people that they've got your back 100%. And when you surround yourself with that little nest egg of people, I've always referred to this like an onion.
Yep.
So, and I know we've talked about this before,
but
the center of the onion is you, and every layer that goes to the outside, and the most outer layer of an onion is crusty, broken, flaky, messy. But as you get in, it's cleaner, pure, and then you got yourself and your joy is protected at the middle, and every layer on the way out is meant to, those are the people that protect you.
Yes.
And they support you and they love you. But sometimes that crusty garbage tries to get at your core.
Oh, absolutely.
Yeah.
Absolutely. I think that the best advice we can give is based on our experience, and we've been around for a few years. And I think it's just that you've got to have just a very small handful of people that it takes the time to develop the relationship. Our closest friends, they weren't just a sneeze and then all of a sudden, we walk around and everything's perfect. It's like you slowly start to kind of expose the real you. That center of the onion with people. And then as you do, you start to see that people, their advice comes from a good place. They say things like, and actually do, they pray for you. And they will let you get all lathered up and, not try to change how you say things, whether it's, cussing or doing whatever. They let you be you. And they're going to laugh with you. But in the end, it's going to be like, you're really struggling. I'm going to pray for you.
Instead of trying to encourage you to be more pissed and outraged. And yes.
Or just, our good friend who we were talking about in the beginning. I mean, he is one of the best people in the entire world to vent to because first of all, he laughs at so many things that we get lathered up about and he's laughing. And then it's like, wait a minute. Some of this stuff, there really is a funny side to it. But then he's like, you know what? The next thing I'm going to say to you is you are justified in feeling how you feel.
Yep.
If you are pissed off, you're allowed to be pissed off, but don't let it consume you. Give it to God, knowing that God's still going to say, you know what, if you got to go off and you got to rant, you got to be crazy for a little while, go ahead, but just come back to me.
Well, you're being taught a lesson and nobody wants to be taught things. I mean, it's uncomfortable.
No.
And so I'm sitting here and I'm talking and I'm thinking as I'm saying this, there's people in our lives that are at a higher level in their business and in their relationships. And these are people that I've learned, don't bring garbage to them. If you have a problem and you need to bring it to them, it needs to be almost data driven, specific. You know, what's the problem? Lay it out and let's see if we can find a solution. But if you start chipping away at the emotional side of it and you start getting outraged and I know that those people won't even answer me. And then,
oh my gosh, no.
And for a moment, I was like, I don't understand. I need to share my pain with somebody so they understand where I'm coming from. And what they end up saying is, you need to start isolating yourself,
Right.
but don't bring your garbage to my doorstep because I'm trying to live in an optimal state.
Yes.
And I never understood that concept until we started, rubbing elbows with some of these pretty successful people in business. And people that are well off, here's a big hot tip. People that are well off, they don't work 4 hours a day. And then they just go live their lives and just be regular, normal people.
Right.
These are people that live in a high level, high state all day.
Right.
High energy, high positivity. They shut out all the negative in their lives.
Yes.
And for 12 to 14 hours a day, they're producers.
Right.
Because they don't waste time on the bullshit.
Nope.
And when you surround yourself with people like that, we have a couple friends, not many. They're able to just be overly, disgustingly positive all the time. It's like, dude, I need to hear that you're just having half a bad day.
Exactly. You almost want to pinch them just so they're like, ow. And I'm like, oh, yes.
But here's what's funny is that these people, even if they were having bad days, they wouldn't say it.
No.
Because they know that, one, negativity is contagious. And two, they respect us enough to say, I wouldn't rob your joy today.
Exactly.
By giving you my negativity. I'm going to snuff this out myself. I'm going to put this thing down that's brewing inside my chest. And then I'm going to move on with my day.
Yeah.
And I've learned lessons from these people, but I still am learning.
I think that we all are. I honestly do. And we've caught ourselves too. And we've said over and over again how quickly you and I can lather each other up because we're married, we're business partners, we're together all the time. So if, you're going to toss a pen on your desk, I'm going to be like, what's your problem? And then you're going to tell me, and then we're going to go back and forth. And
then ridiculous gets escalated.
Right.
So I just had an analogy. So if you were in a...
Do I have to be nervous?
No. You're in a house full of smoke because it's on fire. I don't know if you've ever jumped over a bale of burning hay. Maybe that's a hillbilly thing.
No,
but,
we did that at Tough Mudder.
You've done it at Tough Mudder.
Yes.
The 1 second you breathe in something that's not supposed to be there, the world comes caving in on you. You feel like you're dying.
You absolutely do.
House fire is really bad, right?
Yeah.
So that's a really bad example. It's that moment when you can just stick your head out the window and get a breath of fresh air.
Yes.
Life is the inside of that house. Black smoke, nowhere to hide. You're lost, you're confused, you're freaking out. But as soon as you get your head poked out, you can recognize, okay, this is where I need to be. That's the state of mind you need to keep your life in all day. So if somebody is bringing the crap, I almost want to start hitting him with rubber bands. It's just like, go away. If I hit you with this, I'm gonna start writing on rubber bands and snapping people with them.
You should.
Don't bring your garbage to somebody else. We already talked about that, but now that you are in a state where you're trying to protect yourself from those people, that's what this is. So I guess here's the recommendations and here's some guidance. If something's a negative influence in your life, you got to identify it first.
Yep.
We got rid of social media on our phones.
Yes.
Okay.
Oh my gosh.
Anyone that's tried getting a hold of me in the last 5 months, I am on airplane mode.
Exactly.
All the time.
All the time.
I have 2 numbers that come through on my phone, and that is it. Because I don't want it. I don't want the text messages. I don't want the people.
Yep.
And it's a horrible way to be, but I know for me to isolate myself and protect my mind, I had to start chipping away at the things that were stealing my time.
And what's interesting about that is the people who then have my phone number are the people that I specifically gave it to that even call me to get in touch with you. So my number is so limited on where that goes that if somebody's got mine,
that's how they're getting a hold of me.
That's how, yes, but I don't mind it because the people that are going to call me, even if it's just to get to you. I don't care if they have my number because they're not bringing me garbage.
You're just a pass-through.
I'm just exactly.
And
I'm
the
like your
cool thing is
secretary.
that if it's something, you're not a secretary. And if it's something that's negative, you're not going to pass it to me.
I never do.
So I have someone that's watching out for me, and unfortunately, you're the bigger bulldog. You don't have a bulldog that's watching out for you. The good news is just not many people have your number.
I did have somebody offer to be my handler the other day.
Really?
I did. I can't wait to tell you who it is after we hang up.
It's awesome. But
It's one of my favorite ladies.
this is the level that we had to go to start shutting down the negativity. Well, when I'm emotional and passionate. That's probably the best way to put it. That when I'm high, I'm super high. When things get me distracted, I'm ready to burn things down.
Right.
You know, so for me to find balance in there, you manage it because I do have the ability to swing pretty hard both ways.
Of course.
But usually I'm kind of like, hey, I'm pretty toughened up. That was a pretty tough lesson I just learned. And believe it or not, still new things come down the pipe that you just have never experienced before. You're like, wow, that's a new twist on something to get pissed off about. I've never been angry at that in my life. And it's something new. I don't know if God's just trying to wear the catalog out on me. You know, it's like 1,000 ways to get to Brian. And we're at like number 800. So the only thing that's left are the bad ones. But so action item 1, get rid of social media.
Yes.
And social media alone, you know what you're doing when you go out looking for, it's a drug hit. You're looking at dopamine and you're trying to get adrenaline hits. And there's things that you're on social media to get endorphins and serotonin and dopamine. You're trying to get drug fixes.
Exactly. And I love when people are like, I'm just trying to check out a schedule or something. I'm like, no, you're not.
Get rid of it.
I'm telling you, taking Facebook off my phone changed my entire world. And now when I go on, I'm like, who tagged me? Where are my groups? I'm off. Sometimes the max I will spend surfing is like 2 minutes, and I just do a real quick. I'm on about my day. And if something annoys me, log off immediately. Don't respond. Don't react. Don't spread it.
And then the only stuff that you have left on your phone, you said you're there because it brings you happiness.
Yes.
Because it's things that make, it's a very small window for negativity to get through.
Oh my gosh. Well, like I have Instagram on my phone because it's following I follow multiple pastors. I follow verse of the day. I follow people who just either crack me up or they're just inspirational. And I follow a lot of dogs and animals.
So you're being fed.
Absolutely.
There's a major difference right there. Is your content feeding you or robbing you?
Yes. I promise you, as soon as somebody posts something that could steal a piece of my joy, I unfollow. It's like, you know what? I can't. I'm just not going to do it anymore.
All right. So get rid of the external influences.
Yep.
I hate saying it. My family relationships that went negative, I don't have them anymore.
No.
You know, because family members, if they can't lift you up, they're tearing you down. And it's weird in this world to find someone that's doing just the latter, lifting you up.
Was it my mom who talked about there was a specific relationship? Was it an edited relationship or something?
Oh no, that was business coach.
Ah, yep. So it's even like if you have a stressed out.
We only don't say names just to respect them.
Exactly. Yeah. Yep. But it's basically like you can have a relationship with somebody, including if it's your family, where if you're not going to get fed from it, you can just say things like, I'm fine.
Yeah.
The business is fine. You know, our children are fine. And you don't have to add anything if you know that what you're going to get back is negative. And it's like, you don't have to share it.
Give me the good stuff.
Exactly.
It ends up being very surface level, which is terrible. But don't bring up Fox News. Don't bring up the political landscape.
Yep.
Don't bring up the international troubles. That I don't read news anymore.
No.
This is the other thing that I got rid of even longer ago was I stopped going up on news sites.
Yeah.
I don't read them anymore. They're gone. At night, I do a quick scan just to see what's up in the world, and that is it.
Exactly.
But I won't get taken down the path of fear, worry, concern. You know, I don't care about the stock market. I don't care about what's going on in the White House. I don't give a crap what's going on overseas.
No.
Because I'm one person in a big world trying to have a positive impact on things.
Right.
And the people that put that news in front of you, their only goal is to get a reaction out of you.
Exactly.
So that's gone too. So no more news.
No more news.
have an edited relationship. Family's probably the primary, but if you've got friends,
Yes.
it's just like if you've got friends that are all boozers and you don't drink anymore.
Yes.
It has to be an edited relationship.
Yep.
That's an example of edited. And you guys are great. If you want to go like mountain biking or if you want to go hiking or something, I'm down. But if all you're going to do is sit at a bar and drink for 6 hours, that's not me anymore. I can't do it.
Exactly.
I still love you, but we're editing this relationship.
Exactly.
All right. What other tips you got?
I would say pay more attention to the quality of the relationships that you have. So how much is built on, realness, being authentic, the people that that you can have great conversation with that they won't let's say there's a bad issue. Do they let it die or do they not? Do they keep bringing it up? Do they keep knifing you in the same wound or, scratching away? Do you look at your relationships and then turn those in to almost like an arm's distance?
So like a B level. So
Exactly.
we have A friends, B friends,
Yep.
and then see you later friends.
Exactly.
And that you can train those people together and you can actually just have the conversation. If they're A level, the conversation can go like this. Look, can we try for the next 30 days? Don't bring up one negative thing to each other.
Yep.
Talk about puppies, talk about flowers, talk about wine if you want to. But can we just for 30 days? Because the negativity is tearing me apart. And
Exactly.
I already have to sit in traffic. I already have to deal with a shitty boss. I already, don't like this, don't like that. When you and I talk, can we please keep it positive?
Yeah.
And I don't want it anymore.
Yep.
So it's another edited relationship, except this time it's with maybe your second tier friends.
Exactly. But I think you just have to just pay attention. Do you have a meaningful relationship? Is this somebody that's constantly going to be like, yeah, did you see that? I hope they fail. They suck. Like if it's just constantly negative and ugly about other people and they won't let it go, it's like, it just be like, you do you, I'm going to do me.
Yep. Okay.
Apparently this is a touchy subject for me today. I keep bringing it up.
You're spicy.
I am spicy.
Well, okay, so we got some great action items. You're going to do edited. You're going to get rid
no
of social
social
media,
media.
stay off the news. The other thing is remember you have a purpose.
Yeah.
You have a reason for being here, and it is not to get caught up in the weeds.
No.
God doesn't want that for you. That's the earthly drawdown. That's the things that aren't meant to work for you. The gratitude list, I've never been great at it. I do it every once in a while, but you have to recognize what it is in your life that gives you purpose for life.
Yep.
And fitness shouldn't be it. All right. So fitness is a thing we talked the other day about that lifestyle pyramid where the bottom level is your health. You can't evolve in your emotion and spiritual self until your health is on point.
Yeah.
Your health can't be working out can't be your primary focus in life. It's you have to ascend. Okay. So recognize you have a purpose. Start doing gratitude. If there's things where it feels like the world's just falling in on you, if all you have to do is one thing a day. I know some people that write books on their gratitude every day, which is powerful. Good for you. Pick one thing. Remember, I was talking about the analogy with the house full of smoke, black smoke. There's one thing every day that should be the equivalent of sticking your head out that window and getting a breath of fresh air. And it can be like, I cannot believe I can afford my car payment and my house.
Yeah. Yeah.
When you get really down to the basics. And this is where in Northern Virginia, fast-paced life, we expect everything. And the people expect everything.
Yes.
And to hell with, and the United States is already the top 1% of the world's wealth. And we've got a-holes that are like, I demand, perfection from everything in my circles. Get away from those people, dude.
And don't be one.
Don't be one, all right? Recognize that, take it down to your core. Imagine the day you walk out of the hospital and the cancer diagnosis was wrong.
I know.
Put yourself in those shoes.
Yes.
Where all of a sudden you do have a tomorrow.
Yes.
Because people right now, they think that the world owes them tomorrow instead of tomorrow being a gift.
I think one of the coolest things you ever said, and it kind of goes along the same theme of how you rise above like the craziness, is you say a lot, what kind of legacy do you want to leave? Like, do you want to leave this earth and do you want people to say like, and whatever it is, rock on. But I would never want somebody to be like, nah, she was okay. Like,
Dude.
I would like them to say either, she was a positive influence in my life, or, you know what, she taught me that, you should look somebody in the eyes when you talk to them. And, just something that, what kind of legacy do you want to live or leave behind? And
you only don't die. How's that for grammar?
You only don't die.
You only don't die.
Don't die.
If you live in the memories of the people that love you.
Yeah.
So what if I hear what you're saying, imagine the 10 most important people to you.
Yes.
Giving your eulogy.
Yeah, I always love that.
So they're the ones that are going to talk behind you. It's like, man, did he have a nice car?
Exactly.
Wow. Brian was great. I liked his truck.
Oh, yeah.
Or nobody could spin a gossip like Brian. I mean, if I wanted dirt on somebody, I went to that dude.
Exactly.
That shit's not going to happen.
Oh, no. Nope. Or they won, a bench press competition. Damn. That's never going to come out. No.
So, and the reason we struggle with what we do in life, and this is our purpose, and that's why I'm sharing it. Mm-hmm. I want a line around the block of people that say, that was the time when my life took a turn for the best.
Yes.
That's what I'm living for. That's why I do this job.
Yes.
That's why I put up with all the stuff that we do. And it's the only thing that keeps me going, because every once in a while when I think I've just about had enough and we're ready to break, somebody comes up and gives us some of that spiritual food. And it's like, okay, I'm fed again for a little bit longer.
The two biggest ones that I can think of is that somebody said that we recommended a church. They started going. Mm-hmm. And the other one is for somebody to just say that they went off of medication because their weight loss is finally down enough. And that was like, okay, I can keep going. You know what? The weeds can kiss my butt.
So what's your legacy? Figure out what your purpose is in life and whose life you're going to enrich.
Yes.
We don't have kids. Mm-hmm. So unfortunately, our kids are the people that we run into every day.
Yep.
And we try to let some of what we have to offer rub off on somebody in a positive way. Mm-hmm. And if you are not a person that wants to receive it or wants to support someone that's on their path to get it, then shut up.
Yep.
STFU.
Which has a different meaning in our gym.
That's right. Right.
So it's really like, just what kind of legacy do you want to leave behind you? I can't talk today at all.
I make you tongue-tied.
Maybe you do still make me tongue-tied. It makes me sick. But it's like, stay off of social media. If you're on social media, follow the Jen plan of things that inspire, uplift, motivate. Don't get caught up in the negative. If somebody's going to blast somebody or something, just move on about your day. Or even better, do what I do, unfollow.
Try it for 30 days, man. You won't go back.
Exactly. Remember that your purpose is not this earth, that there is something greater. If you are a Jesus freak like us, you'll believe the purpose is to advance the kingdom of God. Mm-hmm. That's our whole purpose. So live your life as if that is your purpose, because it is.
Yep.
What else? Any other hot tip?
No, it nails it. Just find your joy. Find something to be grateful for. Cut out the negative noise. Mm-hmm. Don't contribute to it, and start cutting out the things in your life that are bringing you down. You have to. Don't let that happen. Obviously, like I said, we already talked about someone that is the negative bringer, to kind of target them, but now you have to protect yourself, because most negative people don't want to hear it.
Exactly.
They love the crap.
They love the crap, and they love you. They love to take you down with them.
That's right. So don't be that person. Imagine if this conversation helps change somebody's outlook and their purpose in life, then that's another win.
You better believe it.
And then you can share it with somebody else.
Exactly.
All right. Cool. Good one.
All right.
I always love it when I pat myself on the back. You didn't cuss a lot. Nice job.
I think you should literally do. You didn't cuss a lot. You did good today.
That's right. All right. Awesome. All right. We'll see you on the next show, guys.
All right.
Take care.
Later.
Thanks for listening to the Beyond the Dumbbells Show. We know you have thousands of options for content and entertainment. We appreciate you spending time with us. If you enjoyed our show, please share our web address, www.beyondthedumbbells.com, and maybe drop us a review. Until next time, live beyond. Beyond.